that's how my photography journey started. Just 4 months into COVID. And my mentor cursed me out basically when I called crying that I wasn't going to be a flight attendant. It was Laz Alonso. I'll never forget. I was so sad.
Wait, what? The actor?
Yes, that's my mentor. We co-starred in the first film I booked when I moved out here in 2007. It was called Down for Life, and it went through a long 12-year battle with Blockbuster and the New York Times. A lot of stuff happened, but it finally released this year in April to all streaming platforms. And he and I met on set there. I was 18 and I was just bright-eyed and excited to be in Hollywood and excited to meet the guy that was in Stomp the Yard. So I asked him literally, I said, will you be my friend on MySpace and will you be my mentor? And he was like, yes. That's how far back this was, MySpace. I was like, is that really you on MySpace or do you have an assistant? He's like, no, it's me. So
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Spotless Minds podcast. It's your host Olivia Jonelle, and I am so excited because today I am with my homegirl. Not only was she a previous co-star with me in the show Insecure, but she is also an author. She is also a former Georgia Teen Miss USA, and not only that, but she is a celebrity photographer as well. Give it up for my girl, Whitney Campbell. Hi, Whitney. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, beautiful?
I am excellent. Okay, so I like to start off this podcast with, how was your week? How was your week, girl?
My week has been pretty chill, but a little bit of, both busy and chill. The ESPYs were this week, so I always love a last minute job. So that's what I did during the middle of my week because it was on Wednesday. And then, I've just been kind of relaxing and catching up on work, trying to get home to Orlando, using a buddy pass. It's horrible. So I've been kind of stuck here.
Wait,
but yeah, I'm going to see my parents. So.
Oh, you're from Orlando.
I'm actually from Savannah, but they moved to Orlando about 5 years ago. So
wow.
When I say home, I just mean going to see my parents back on the East Coast.
Okay,
but,
okay.
Originally from Savannah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so can you give us a little bit of background of who you are, what you do, your story? I heard it's a good one.
Of course. So, as I said, I'm originally from Savannah. I moved here in 2007 after I won National American Miss Teen Georgia. And not Miss USA. This is a big difference. That's Donald Trump's pageant. I would never.
Is it Donald Trump owns that one?
Yes. So Miss USA is Donald Trump. Miss America, I can't remember who is over Miss America. And then National American Miss, which is who I won for, they're a separate pageant system. They go through Disney. You have to have grades. You have to have community service. Like there's different requirements. They're one of the hardest pageant systems in the country.
Wow.
And they're not influenced by television, so they don't broadcast their pageants. But yeah, they're pretty strict. So for me to win when I did, I was the first Black one for Georgia. Like, yeah, it was a pretty strict pageant system. So
wow,
that's how I got out here. It launched me to have the opportunity to come to LA and pursue acting and modeling like I always wanted to. And I did that probably the first, 4 or 5 years that I was out here, and then, graduated from college and went into the real world. So you kind of move away from your dream a little bit, got caught up in corporate America. I was working at Enterprise for a while, so I gained some really great life skills from that. But I had a really life-changing car accident that just sat me down for 2 years, unfortunately. I broke my foot, and it just redirected my focus as to where it was supposed to be, which was acting and modeling. I was never supposed to be caught up in the green machine, as they called it, trying to become a branch manager, all this stuff. Like my dream when I came out here was to be in entertainment. So once I was able to walk again, the first thing I booked was Insecure with you.
No way.
Yes. As soon as I took that cast off, my birthday was about 2 months later. And that was the day that we shot Insecure. It was on my birthday. It was the best birthday ever. So
Obviously.
that was literally my sign, like, okay, you just got out your boot and this is what you booked. Then I got a 3-year usage international bra commercial. People are seeing my boobs
Wow.
in Australia. So that was my
Wow.
sign, like, girl, you were never supposed to be doing that. Get back to what you love. And I did that, but then the pandemic happened. So, we're all stuck at home. I can't go audition. I had already left Enterprise. I was about to become a flight attendant with Delta. I felt like that would be a great part-time job to do with acting. I could travel. It's flexible. But they shut that down too. They hit me like, we know we said you're coming to training in 7 days, but sorry, the world shut down. So I had no choice but to invest in myself and pick up a camera. And I took the first 4 months of COVID to study photography. And my first major client was Chris Brown's mom. Like, from
Would
there,
you
the rest is history. Like, it's just been a blessing and up ever since. So
But you said your first client was Chris Brown's mom?
I first made, before then I was shooting family, friends, anybody that would give me a shot at just seeing, hey, is this something that I should just do on the side or really go for this? And I already had an eye, a creative eye, because actors, we kind of have that. But I never knew how extensive, my love for visuals and art go. So not only do I do photography, but I do videography as well. And it's crazy how once I tapped into the basics of what I need to know about working a camera, it's like, maybe I don't need to go around auditioning, waiting for somebody's yes. Maybe I can create my own opportunity with this thing. Because I got, at the time, the best camera in the business. It had been out for a year already, so it was price friendlier. But
Mm-hmm.
with all of my due diligence of studying camera brands from Sony to Nikon, um, to asking mentors in my life, to asking other people that were in photography whose work I felt like I admired, hey, what do you suggest for me to get? I'm not super technology savvy, so should I start with, a Sony, or should I start with the Canon, which I hear is more user friendly? I did all of the research that I could to come into this career and take that seriously. And it paid off like I couldn't have prayed for it, beyond what I could have prayed for, honestly. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how my photography journey started, just 4 months into COVID. And my mentor cursed me out basically when I called crying that I wasn't going to be a flight attendant. It was Laz Alonso. I'll never forget. I was so sad. I just
Wait,
knew.
what? The actor?
Yes, that's my mentor. We co-starred in the first film I booked when I moved out here in 2007. It was called Down for Life, and it went through a long 12-year battle with Blockbuster and the New York Times. A lot of stuff happened, but it finally released this year in April to all streaming platforms. And he and I met on set there. I was 18, and I was just bright-eyed and excited to be in Hollywood and excited to meet the guy that was in Stomp the Yard. So I asked him literally, I said, will you be my friend on MySpace and will you be my mentor? And he was like, yes. That's how far back this was, MySpace. I was like, is that really you on MySpace, or do you have an assistant? He's like, no, it's me. So I know
Did
he's
you
just
guys
like,
have like this? Was it like an instant connection? Like, what made you feel so comfortable with being like, will you be my mentor?
So, every set has the craft service food truck. It's our favorite place to be.
Best
So,
place on earth.
right,
Okay.
I'm in there and I walk in and there's a guy standing with his back kind of towards the door making a sandwich. And I was tearing up the Capri Suns. Like, those boxes were mine. I was on the last one in the box. And he's looking like, dang, she going kind of hard on the Capri Suns. And when I look at him, I'm like, you're the guy from Stomp the Freaking Yard. And he's like, yes, I am. Because it was very like, oh my God, I probably looked like a fan that found a truck and was just like, what are you doing here? And so I was like, oh my God, I love that movie. It's such a great message. I thought it was way better than You Got Served. And he's just like, this girl is going a mile a minute. He's like, okay, who are you? What's your name? It's nice to meet you. And I look, he has a police officer badge on and a uniform. And it's because he was dressed for our scene we were about to do together. He's playing a resource officer in a scene in which I played a gang member. Or no, he was an actual officer, not a resource officer. And so I look and I see it says Barber on it. And that's who I have a scene with. And I'm like,
Wow.
we're co-stars. Oh my God, I'm playing Aisha. My name is Whitney. And he's like, okay, Whitney, nice to meet you. See you on set. So glad to see you're a part of the cast and you're not some crazy fan.
Right.
To the service food truck.
Right.
So all during us filming, I'm asking him questions. He's getting touched up. I'm like, do you really like control your MySpace page? Is that someone else? Because I want to add you later today. And he's like, oh my God, yes, shut up.
Wow.
Yeah, after that, we connected, stayed in touch. And I was like, I'm new here, I don't know anybody. And I love your vibes. You're so nice. Will you be my mentor? And he's like, yeah, kid.
And he actually followed through.
Yeah, he used to invite me to like Super Bowl parties, any event that I could come to and kind of just, be a part of the industry. He would include me and, I met girlfriends at the time. Like I was like little sister. So I still am. Like we talk every birthday, he gives me advice. From headshot advice to what should I wear? Should I do this? If I have an audition, that's who I'm going over to coach me. So yeah, he's amazing and he's guided me my entire career. So that is who I called when I was having my freak out about the fact that I wasn't going to be starting at Delta and I had nothing in the pandemic. And he's like, I feel bad for you, but I feel like this is a sign showing you your ass don't belong in, don't belong in the skies.
Right.
And I'm like, that was not the conversation I was like hoping to have when I called him, I was kind of hoping to be coddled, but it was the conversation I needed. He's like, invest in yourself, make a YouTube, buy a camera, and don't call me until you do. Like, I'm tired of telling you to be the creative that you're supposed to be, invest in yourself. All these people sitting here getting rich off of YouTube with half your talent. And what are you doing? And I don't know, just it clicked that day. It clicked. I went and, like I said, got my camera, did my 4 months of studying, and photography took off from there.
Wow. You know what? I'm going to call you the queen of getting in the room. How do you get into these rooms? Are they intentional? Are you like, what is going on behind the scenes that like, is it just luck? What is this?
I always say luck is when preparation meets opportunity. I know that's the saying, not that I came up with it. But that's truly what it is, being in the right place at the right time and always being myself. I'm always nice to people. I don't care if you are an A-lister or you are the person working at 7-Eleven. I'm going to treat you with kindness and respect because you never know who people are. A lot of times that's what's happened to me. I've just been nice to somebody and they turn out to be somebody that has connections beyond, what I would have thought. And they look like everyday people like you and me, so sometimes the millionaires, the people who have the connections, they're not flashy. They're not riding in first class all the time. They're sitting next to you on a plane and you get their contact information and boom, you're out hanging out in Hollywood. You're here. They know this person. They know that person. This person's mom is the head of whatever. Hollywood is so small like that. So from 2007 to now, the relationships, even I'm seeing them come back around from Enterprise, people at Enterprise. So it's just really been a matter of keeping those relationships solid and treating people how I want to be treated. I'm a huge believer of the golden rule. Is really not that hard to just be good to others.
Right.
And yeah, I really feel like a lot of that has, come back for me. And I'm never shy. I've always learned to not live with saying, I wish I would have said this. Having regret is like the worst feeling, at least for me, where I'm like, dang, I wish I would have told him I want to do this. Cause you never know. The worst thing people can say to you is no. So and Laz instilled that in me too. There would be people that I knew were his co-stars, like Brian J. White and Megan Good, all these different people I saw that he worked with, and I would cross paths with them, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, look, this is who I'm standing next to, Laz," and he's like, "Go speak." It's like, go introduce yourself. Go tell them that you are here for acting because you want these people to be your peers. You don't need to be all googly eyed and starstruck. And like another thing that said in what he told me, like, yeah, he's right. Like, I do want to see myself starring next to Megan Good in something or Brian White. So it took me a while, but I eventually learned, don't let those opportunities slip by. That might be the only one you have. So now I'll go
Mm-hmm.
speak, I'll go introduce myself. And I've yet to be like, dang, I shouldn't have said hello to them because they were super rude, or dang, that was a waste of time. They never called back or never followed up. Everyone follows up. Everyone at least, makes the connection, whether it be through social media or, having your little virtual business cards that everybody's doing now. But photography is that way for me to connect. If they see that picture of themselves, they're like, oh
Mm-hmm.
wow, I gotta get that. How can I get that from you? That's my end.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have to treat every moment like this is a personal photo shoot, and I only get them for these 3 minutes on the red carpet, this hour in the gathering spot when they're doing a panel. So I have to treat that moment like this is the only time I'm gonna get to shoot them. So I gotta make them feel like, wow, you took this in here? Like, hold on, we got to get more time outside of this. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's how I build the connections and keep the relationships going. Because I want them to see that I value the work that I'm doing. And yeah, it's worth just being nice sometimes and speaking up because you don't know
Right.
what to regret.
All right, guys, so I'm sponsoring my own podcast today. On this channel, we talk about all things health, wealth, beauty. And so, what better way to protect everything that you've been working hard towards? The healthy eating, the working out, building your wealth, building your beauty, if you're not at least going to protect it financially. Back in the day, the men were the breadwinners. So when we passed away, there really wasn't much if we weren't married to really be passing down. Now we are bosses. Hello. CEOs. We are actually head of households these days. And so I just want to come and remind you that there's no better time to get your life insurance than who you are today, because your health, your age, all of those things affect your prices. So if you plan on having kids in the future, if you have kids in the present, if you're protecting your family and you were to pass away today, is everything that you've been building, your legacy, protected? Next question. If not, what better way than working with me and getting your family some life insurance? I'm the best at what I do. #1 life insurance agent. So definitely let me know. I am a broker, so I work with the top A-rated companies. So I can for sure get you the best deal in the market with the best companies, fastest payouts. Girl, I got you. Just know I got you. All right. You were a photographer and you could keep the connection going that way. What was the best way that you found to follow up and keep it if they were maybe, like they're busy. They have
Mm-hmm.
careers, they have families. So like what was the best way for you to do that?
When I text, I'm intentional with what I say. I'm one of those people that kind of overthinks. So I like to let people know what I'm thinking. So if I send the pictures, they like them and everything, then I'll say, hey, I don't like to bother. So whenever you're ready to do a photo shoot, please let me know. And they'll immediately respond with something to the extent of, it's no bother. I get busy. Please do. Like, and if I don't respond, hit me again. So I kind of know how to operate with each of the people that I'll make a connection with, because I don't want to seem desperate, but at the same time, I'm excited for the opportunity if they've expressed, hey, I would love to shoot. Some people might be disingenuous with really wanting to shoot in the future, or some might really want to and just don't get the time. So I don't want to take that personal. And that's what a lot of people will do sometimes, is wrongly take things personal and feel like people are operating from a standpoint of, oh, I just said that because I was being nice, but I really don't want to work with you. Like, no, that person is busy. She dances for Beyonce, for example, like Ashley Everett. You know, she's not dancing on the tour right now, but it's because she's finally pursuing her things that she's always wanted to go after: commercials, dance in commercials as well, choreographing for people, etc. So it's not that, hey, she doesn't want to shoot again. She is really busy. And if you just keep expressing, hey, still thinking about you, still want to shoot, perfect, I'm still thinking about you too, don't want you to think I'm putting it off. And that's how the relationship usually keeps going, and just letting people know, hey, I want to make sure I'm not overstepping boundaries, I'm not bothering you, etc. When it comes to social media, if I don't actually get their phone number, when it comes to social media, I find that people actually like when you care about what they post. That's why I don't like to follow so many people,
Right.
because I want to see the people who I actually care about, following. Whereas some people are just getting them for the numbers, and that's fine. We do that, a follow for a follow sometimes, and then nothing may ever happen after that. But we're both still adding to each other's numbers,
Right.
But at the end of the day, I really feel like people appreciate when you double tap. As little as we make social media out to be sometimes, it's a thing.
Like, leave a comment.
Right.
Leave a comment.
Share, save, support, something.
How hard is it? I'm so intentional with mine that I'm just like, why is it so hard? Like, you'll see something get like 75,000 views and it got 1,500 likes. And I'm just like, yo, like, I know them thumbs is used to going like this. Stop playing with me.
Like, come on, bro. Scroll down.
I'm taking it personal. I know you said not to take it personal, Whitney, but I'd be over there like 23 likes, 600 views.
You know what? I think of how I am as a social media viewer, and that helps sometimes. Sometimes I genuinely am watching something, I laugh, I share. I might not double tap it just from, okay, that was funny, let me go to the next thing. That was funny. Oh, wait, let me go back and like it. I've literally told someone, oh, this picture's so dope, and sent it to them, but I didn't tap like on it. So I try to give people grace in the ways that I think about myself being kind of a not lazy social media user, but sometimes I'm just like behind the scenes, and I'm not always tapping and liking, like, but I catch up, or I tell people in their inbox, like, yo, the video you just did, this is so hard, and I'll send it to them. So I'm trying to be better at that, even watching people's stories, just caring what they're doing. Sometimes people just want to know that you care. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. So I'll actually watch. I won't just sit it there and put the phone down and let people's stories play. I have a friend that told me that's what she does. I'm like, don't ever do that again.
I can't lie, I do that too. It just be for the sound though. I just like to hear the sound in the background.
I can see that.
I am addicted to my phone. When I say it's became,
I wouldn't be if this weren't my profession, because sometimes I'm like, man, I don't want to be on this thing, but I know it's part of my business, so I like to add elements of happiness to social media. So I have accounts I specifically follow to get a laugh from, because I know the videos are going to be hilarious.
Right.
And that helps lighten my day. That helps my mood stay up. And it's like, okay, this might have happened, but this video was hilarious. So, people really underestimate what laughter and comedy can do for you, especially if you're in a down mood or if you're a loner like myself. I love being alone. I know my life on the stories looks like I party and this and that. I do, but I'm working in those atmospheres. You know, I'm not sitting there taking shot after shot. Well, unless it's Cardi B's party. She poured Hennessy down my throat several times that night. But other than that, I am working when I'm at these events. So yes, it's the turn up, but I'm watching to make sure I capture the dope moments and everything. And you have to be focused. You can't be like,
Right.
oh, twerk, twerk, oh.
It's not gonna turn out good. No.
Right.
You're not getting hired again.
Exactly. Like that'll be my last night for sure. Great video. Like,
we enjoy partying with you, but that will be it.
Right. Thank you for your services. So,
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that's what I do. Just I try to make sure whatever medium we connect through, I'm always on that medium trying to let them know, hey, I was genuine about working with you, or hey, here's your photos. I know you said you like them, because a lot of people will get info and won't send the photos.
Get what?
I don't want them.
They'll do what?
A lot of people will get people's social media and their contact information, but they won't send the photos. So I've had people like, are you sure you're going to send them to me? Because I love this. And we meet so many people and you want to get people their photos to them, but it'll be as quick as I just followed them. And then I followed 10 more people that night. Right. So I forgot who it was. So I'll make sure I tell people, hey, text me and say, girl with the pink dress, so I can get you your photos. And people really appreciate that, because
right.
I can take them like, oh, I'm never going to see them again, whatever. Like, oh yeah, I'll get them to you. Sure. I've had that happen.
Mm-hmm. I've had photographers do that. Yeah. Or it's just like you said, they just kind of lost my contact information.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Okay.
Yep, that follow up, sometimes that's the difference.
Okay.
Sometimes the fact that you actually follow up and do what you're going to say, people do not do that in LA. Okay. I don't care how many people that are from LA say we're real and the transplants are fake. No, I am from Savannah. I've been here 16 years. And me personally, I've been done wrong more by LA people that are actually from here, went to middle, high school, all that here, because they take advantage of the fact that you're not from here. You're an outsider. You don't know a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So, and sometimes I feel like my kindness was taken for a weakness coming from Savannah, and just that kind of that LA lifestyle is so fast paced. You know, you're in Hollywood, you can get got real quick. So,
real quick.
Yeah, real quick. So I learned my lesson with that, being out here. You get tougher skin. All of that comes from being in LA. But, and not to say that all LA people are the fake ones and no transplants, because I know transplants come here and they try to blend in and they think Hollywood is something, and you get here and you're like, Hollywood is dirty with SpongeBob dancing on the corner
and the fake Spider-Man.
Right. It's not what we pictured. So yeah, I've had to really, adjust to the lifestyle, the culture of people here, all that, but it's only made me a better adult, because I came here at 18. So I feel like the Southern girl is still there, the the girl that the moral, the foundation, and then the 18 and older, the adult Whitney is LA all day. So
tell me about your childhood that made you who you are today. Like, what was it?
My parents. My parents were always team me. They've always been supportive of everything I want to do. I was adopted at birth, so I feel like not only did I have a disadvantage from the beginning, but they kind of gave me an advantage, being, young, Black, successful, married couple with opportunity to move. And my dad was a pharmaceutical sales rep. My mom was a home ec teacher in Nebraska, but she just kept elevating her career status to ultimately like becoming a principal. And kind of overseeing like school systems and things like that, and making sure that they're, up to par, up to standards. And so they've always just been very, like I said, supportive. And when we moved from Nebraska to Savannah, it was my dad's opportunity with work, but it was really my mom's hand who kind of forced it, because she wanted her kids to grow up around more Black people, have Black teachers. And she knew that she could get that in the South. She's from
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, Midwest, Illinois, Waukegan, really, a small suburb town outside of Chicago. My dad is
Mm.
from Georgetown, South Carolina. So he had that dose of the South. You know, he was literally telling me last week the KKK used to walk down his street when he was a little boy, and his dad
Wow.
would be behind the door with a shotgun. So they came from two very different worlds. So coming back to the South was not ideal for my dad. But my mom's like, I really think this is, you know, a great move for our family because there definitely ain't a lot of white people in Omaha, Nebraska. I mean, a lot of Black people in Omaha, Nebraska. So packed up, moved when I was 3. And my first Black teacher was actually my first grade teacher, Miss White, funny enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget when I was in kindergarten. This is the confidence in which I got.
I just got that. Sorry.
Oh.
I was like, oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. But the confidence really came to me in kindergarten. I know that sounds like such a young age to remember things, but I remember a lot from when I was a little kid at ages where you're like, how do you remember that? My parents said it all the time. But in kindergarten, I had a teacher that we had a parent teacher conference, and they told my mom and dad that I was too aggressive. I would answer questions too fast and wouldn't give the other kids a chance. I was very outspoken, and just little girls need to be seen and not heard.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was fuming. He's like, wait a minute. So because she don't give other kids a chance to answer what she knows, that's her fault. So if she was a little boy, would you be calling her aggressive for speaking up as much as she does?
Right.
And hearing my dad defend me like that at that age was like, wow, like I can still be the same little girl I am in class. And he goes, don't ever try to stifle my daughter.
Wow.
Whatever she wants to raise her hand and answer, she will raise it. Maybe you're not challenging her enough, and maybe she needs to be in another class. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
And that just kind of gave me the confidence from there that if I'm doing the right thing, always be me and always speak up. If you're trying to dim my light because you feel like little girls shouldn't be seen, should be seen and not heard, and all these other old-fashioned ideas of how you feel like a woman should be, a Black woman especially, because this was a white woman, by the way.
Mm.
Um, yeah, this isn't the class for my daughter. So from there on, I always had the confidence to move in, you know, who I am, the Whitney way, the Whitney sauce, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I have so
Mm-hmm.
many different names people have called it over the years. But yeah, that was the difference. My parents supported me. My mom did too. She was more of a, because she was an educator, she's like, okay, well, go tell the teacher if this happens. If somebody hits you, this is what you do. My dad's like, no, you beat them up.
Right. Right.
You
Handle
don't
it.
let nobody hit on you. You
Handle
let
it.
people know.
Right.
So they had a difference in that. But as far as them giving me the confidence to be me, and if I wanted to dance, I was dancing. If I wanted to be a cheerleader, I was a cheerleader, which I was. I did every activity that I wanted to do. I was student council. I did yearbook staff, everything I wanted to do. My parents were like, okay, all right, as long as you keep good grades, we'll do it. We'll support you. We'll pay for it. So yeah,
You had
that's what.
amazing parents.
Yeah, they're
And
amazing.
what's crazy is when you said adopted, I think a lot of people always think like, oh, like poor her. You know what I mean?
Was what?
But when you hear like adoption stories, they're not usually positive.
Right.
And
Right.
so to hear this is like, again, like, dang, girl, you lucky. Dang.
I was definitely blessed.
Like
I
you
was
just,
adopted at birth. So they are all, those are my parents, you know, at some point
yeah.
I will find my birth parents. That's actually a process I'm going through right now.
Wonderful.
I just have to go through the Child Saving Institute of Nebraska, and you know, there's paperwork and things like that to access. But my birth mother wrote me a letter dated 3 days after I was born, and my parents gave
Wow.
it to me on my 16th birthday.
Wow.
And it was explaining why I was given up for adoption. They were married. She had just turned 18. Um, Already had two brothers. No, not two brothers, two siblings, a brother and a sister named Jeremy and Ebony.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just too young to have a third child and provide everything that my heart desired and everything I needed, as she said in the letter. And I was told not to feel like a burden, to not feel like I was unwanted, to know I am very loved. And if I did ever want to find them, I'd have to go through Child Saving Institute. And she said that this is what really shook me, because I have a speech and debate background, from college. That's how I got through school. That
Mm-hmm.
whole journey, through that part of my life here in LA also molded who I am, being a part of the speech and debate community.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because when I read the letter, my birth mother said, when she held me, she's like, I looked at you and you were just so pretty, but you were so loud. And it seemed like you had so much to say, like a gift for gab. And that sent chills. It still sends chills down my spine to this day, because that is all people describe me as. What's the first thing you describe Whitney? Loud, crazy. And then to go on and in college, when I'm just trying to be lazy per se and take the easiest classes to avoid math, I get into argumentation and debate. I become an A student in that class. I compete against all the other A students in argumentation and debate, and I get a walk-on spot onto the speech and debate team. And I ended up taking #1 in the state out of all 2-year students, and #1 in the country out of all 2-year students, multiple years. So
Wow.
that activity itself, speech and debate, it ties into acting. The speech part of it does, at least. So that's why I was able to excel in it, because you are literally turning into characters that are telling really like moving stories that are supposed to inspire people to think differently about how they talk about things in life that are controversial, from
Right.
shadeism to us having a Black president at the time. You're doing all these different performative pieces that are meant to be think pieces, essentially. And
Mm-hmm.
I excelled in that literally because of my acting background. So um yeah, all of those things contributed to who I am today, being, the parents that I have, the process that I went through first moving to LA, and just the whole adjustment, the culture shock has really
Mm-hmm.
made me who I am today.
Okay, I love that. Okay, so I feel like you're a lot like me in the sense that you never take the easy path in life. You always are gonna take the hardest. You're always, and I think it's something that like us as Black girls just kind of have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's also a choice too. It's also a personality type. And I know with taking the hard path, it comes with a lot of bruises.
Yes.
And I just want to know, like, what are you doing to keep your mental health good, your happiness, when those times when you're not in the room with Chris Brown's mom and his family, and you're like in your house alone and nothing just seems to be working out? What's your pick me up routine, your self-care routine?
Okay, so one of them is finding at least 5 videos to laugh at on Instagram,
Okay.
because I am a full believer laughter changes your mood. There's no way, even if you're crying and you see something funny or someone says something funny, you're like, yeah, I know. So I feel like if you make yourself laugh, if you find something to make you laugh, that's instantly going to help change the mood that I'm in. So I'm really good at recognizing my feelings. And that has come with therapy. I had therapy back in college. It was offered for free, so I took advantage of it. I was a speech and debater, and we were going to some of the most racist places in the country at times, because that's where the
Wow.
school that was hosting the tournament would be. And my school went dry out of nowhere, and I was enjoying wine, taking a break. So I'm like, I can't turn the wine to Coke now. I gotta figure out something else, because I could lose my scholarship. Like it's not worth taking a sip of wine on a trip to Arkansas and
Mhm.
getting kicked off the debate team and losing everything. just because I've encountered, a racist situation, because that's just how it is in that part of the country still in some places. And they don't want to hear what a Black woman has to say about shadeism, about police brutality. They don't care about a Latino that is talking about what's going on at the border. So I was in very stressful situations that could have made me lash out in a violent way. And I took advantage of therapy. And I suggest that for everybody, because sometimes just talking to an outside source that is not biased, that is just going off of what you tell them, can give you better advice than maybe you're giving yourself or your friends that might be biased to you or biased to the situation. So yeah, therapy, that's my number two. Is I'm quick to find out, oh, what free services you offer to talk, because talking it out,
I'm gonna need it. Yes,
right, I'm gonna need it. So or if I have friends that are therapists, family, hey, you use your friends if they work at a restaurant or the movies or whatever. Use them if they're therapists as well. And I do have a family member that is, and I'll go to her when I know, okay, I need some unbiased Whitney cut the BS or whatever advice, and that's who I'll go to. So therapy's number two. And then number three, talking to people that I've known all my life. Sometimes new friends don't necessarily know the bad characteristics or your bad habits. And if you don't, again, talk to those people who can really tell you the truth, like Laz in that situation, he told me what I needed to hear, not, oh, it's okay, Delta's gonna come back and you'll be able to be a flight attendant and just hold on tight. No, girl, F Delta. Go buy a camera.
right.
Believe in your gift. You have one. I've seen it. And you waste your time not being on YouTube, like, and instead doing on your stories and making us laugh. That's what I needed to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And he's known me since I was 18, so he can talk to me like that.
Right.
Somebody that I just met last year might not be able to be like, F your tears right now. I'm sorry, but somebody new, I'm like, hold on now.
Right. Like, you don't know me like that.
Right.
Okay, I know I said that was the last question, but can you give some advice to us ladies who are younger than you on growing up and how to be the best woman you want to be, the woman you see yourself being?
My dad's best advice to me was to not let my happiness come through my partner, a man. Okay. So you have to find that self-love, that confidence, and that security in yourself before anything else. Because once you have that, can't nobody tell you anything. And when I say can't nobody tell you anything, I don't mean be stubborn and not listen to advice. But when you meet those people that are trying to dim your light because they're intimidated by you, and they say, oh, she thinks she all that in the bag. Well, how you know what I think? You don't live in my brain. Like, I wish I would have gotten certain things taught to me and told to me, not because my parents couldn't teach me, but because you just are taught that by life and by going through school and, getting bullied or being in the popular crowd, whatever, however your life turns out, sometimes you don't have that, man, I wish I would have been able to say that back in 11th grade, when you're in your 30s with that different confidence of, well, high school don't even matter. Because that's the reason I moved out here anyway. I was so torn between staying and finishing my senior year and going to prom and all the stuff that you do as a senior, which I did in my junior year too, but it's different when you're a senior. And moving across country to pursue a dream just because I had won Miss Teen Georgia out of nowhere. My life literally changed because of that pageant. And if I had been scared and not gone through and done the pageant, if I didn't have the confidence in myself and knowing, well, I speak very well, I'm not scared when I get on a stage, I can perform. I can do this with the help of my parents giving me a speech and, all the things that, came along to help me be who I was in 12th grade, I ended up winning a pageant that I never even saw myself winning.
Mm.
And I was a cheerleading coach at the time. You know who Lil Baby is, correct? You know his baby mother, Jada?
Yes.
I used to be her nanny, her babysitter. She and I were on Cheer Savannah together. And we were she was on the best team for the little kids, and I was on the second best team for the older girls. Because I didn't have all the tumbling skills. I wasn't level 5. I was level 3. So Jada and I were both level 3, but in our respective age categories. So I was dancing and cheering and all that for my team and coaching Jada's team.
Wow.
I was the best dancer in the gym. I have no problem saying that. They'll back it up for my Cheer Savannah days. So I coached the little kids as well. And I sat there, and this is what my judges in the pageant ended up telling me. This is why we chose you to be queen. I coached those kids every day to try something new. Try a scary back tuck. Try 2 back handsprings into a back tuck. Try 2 back handsprings into a full. And they're scared. They think they're going to fall. They think they're going to hurt themselves, but they still do it fearlessly because they know Miss Whitney's spotting them, or Miss Katie's spotting them, or Miss Whitney's teaching us how to dance, so we know we're going to win. Like, there's different things I'm teaching these kids. How would I look being scared to go try a pageant for the first time?
Right.
So I went and did it, and then look what it did. It led to me moving to Los Angeles, pursuing a dream I never, ever knew how I would accomplish. I always knew I wanted to be an actress or a dancer or a singer. But it's like, well, how you going to do that in Savannah, Georgia? Beyonce don't come here for concerts. So
no, she ain't coming to
accept that you're going to have to move to Los Angeles if that is what this opportunity that Miss Teen Georgia has brought you to, brings you to. And my parents felt like, you acted right through high school, so we'll let you move there and pursue this acting and modeling thing. It took 2 months, and then I booked the lead role in a movie with Danny Glover, Snoop, and Laz, and it literally changed the trajectory of my life forever. And if I didn't have that confidence in myself to know, like, okay, well, it's okay that somebody said you talk like a white girl because you speak properly. Now you can respond, okay, well, what is talking black? Does that mean I'm supposed to talk stupid? Like, that's kind of ignorant, whether you're a white or black person saying that.
Mm-hmm.
So I leaned into the fact that, I can talk in 7, 10 different voices. I can talk like this. I could be country. I could be ghetto. I could talk like I'm from New York, whatever. I can do all of that. Oh, great. Let me throw that into my talent. Let me throw that into when I get on stage at the Miss Teen Georgia pageant and show these people I can sound like a country bumpkin one second, and then I can sound like I'm closing a corporate deal the next.
Right. Ooh.
Because no, I'm not going to win sounding like a country bumpkin, but hey, if I can switch it up, code switch as they call it, and it works in my favor, it got me Miss Teen Georgia.
Mm.
Some people were shook when they're like, what pageant is this for you? I'm like, what first? My dad's like, let's get you out of here. They want to kill you.
Right, like, this girl.
Right.
Damn.
Believe in yourself. Don't let no boy tell you you're too dark skinned, you're too whatever. Don't let no girls tell you think you pretty with your long pretty. You are. And I'm sorry yours didn't grow this way, but hey, let's be friends and I'll teach you how to get your hair to grow too. You know?
And that's like one of my main missions for this podcast is for us to stop looking at each other as like competition or like she's prettier than me or she's this. I'm like, we can all give each other tips and elevate each other instead of trying to compete and tear each other down.
Exactly. And I try to bring that to photography.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a freelance, I don't belong to any one, like Getty Images, things like that. I would love to, maybe that'll happen further down, but I love where I'm at too, because I have private relationships with these different clients that, you see that I shoot. Mm-hmm. And when I'm out and about and I see other Black female photographers, I love it. Hi, how are you? If they don't speak to me first, so what? I embrace the role that I'm that friendly person and I might have to speak first sometimes. Because sometimes people are going to just automatically think you don't want to talk to them because it is a competition when they're amongst everybody else. So why would you be any different? Let me show you I am different. Let me show you. Oh, you don't know the camera settings to battle this sunlight? Here it is, girl. This person don't belong to me that I shoot. Chris Brown, royalty don't belong to me, even though she says my photographer. I am, but somebody else, Patty Othon shoots royalty too.
Yeah.
People can get pictures of everybody, and we can still win and still be dope and still get work. So
right.
I'm never bringing that type of energy when I'm out and about. I'm always connecting. I'm always, yo, you want to join me on this? Because I don't want to do both photo and video. Do you want to do video? Go.
Right.
Let's team up. Now you're also in CB and the family's presence too.
Right.
So they got you on video, they got me on photo. We're both in. Why do I need to try to do both, you know?
Right.
So that's my mission too.
Sheesh, girl, this was an amazing podcast. Literally my new name for you is the Queen of Getting in the Room. I'm really staying in the room.
Get the Queen of Manifestation.
Right, the Queen of Manifestation. Like, I just admire.
Everyone who knows me, Olivia, everyone who knows me is completely freaked out by the fact that I shoot for royalty.
Yes.
I have been saying since I wanted to move to LA, I'm going to move to LA and me and Chris Brown are going to be best friends. I've never had a crush on him. It's always been a respect for him as an artist. I've always said, I just want to have a day where I could just dance in the studio because, you know, that's the first time I ever met him was dancing for Look at Me Now.
Wow.
And so 10 years later, full circle to be shooting his daughter, it's like,
sheesh.
Wow. Everyone's like, girl, like you literally said you were gonna do that. And it's organic. It's not, you know, I don't get there and then start fangirling. I was like, okay, I really wanted to tell you this. Like,
right.
No, I've just always felt like he needs dope people in his circle that are genuinely team him, team Breezy, team his family. And yeah, that's
yeah, and he's team you too. Team Whitney. And that's the dopest part is when it's organic and it's not forced. It's just, it makes life so beautiful.
Her mom, his mom is the link to all of this, but Nia and I, we locked in. She really treats me like family, and they're amazing. So because of them, I've been blessed. Because of KP with Black Ink, I Am Compton. You know, Kyla, all of them, they're such amazing people, and my opportunities just continue because of my relationships with them, and it's mutually beneficial. Sometimes we're out and they're like, you know that person Whit? Like, yep, met them back in 2011, and they're like, what? Right. They forget or don't know I've done stuff too. So yeah, it's been the whole journey really ties together now.
Well, you're truly an inspiration to me, and I'm sure everyone who watches this podcast. Amazing story. I'm so proud of you. Please keep going. Please don't stop. Please keep getting better. Absolutely. And that's my prayer for you and all your family, your friends. And can you please let the people know how they can get in contact with you?
Absolutely. So on Instagram, you can find me you can type in Peach West Photography and it will pop up. You Gotta Have Wit is my handle, the letter U, GOTTAHAV, 3 underscores Wit. And yeah, you can see my work on there. I have a website on there as well. So inquiries will always come to me through email, but I'm way more active on social media. Who isn't? I just joined Threads. I'm loving Threads. Are you on it?
I'm not yet.
Oh, girl, it's like Twitter day one.
Jeez.
It's so lovely. I really love Threads.
Sheesh.
And Elon done messed up Twitter, so I feel like that's gonna be the move for everybody anyway. So
wow. Okay, I'm on
Threads too. So yeah.
Okay. Yay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. You're amazing. I have loved you since the day we worked on Insecure together. It was an instant click.
It was.
And thank you for having me. I appreciate your energy. You're such an amazing soul too.
Thank you.
Relationships like this are why I love this industry. We worked together one time and it's years later and look at us now.
Yeah.
Now I'm on your podcast.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah.